Hi everyone, Comic Reviewer here. This time doing another Halloween comic review. And this one is on The Atom and the Hawkman, issue number 46. Now, The Atom and the Hawkman was a Silver Age series that was brought back for one more issue for the Blackest Night event. And the cover mainly has Ray Palmer as a Indigo Lantern with a Black Lantern Hawkman. So the ring says, Ray Palmer of Earth. You have always been fascinated by what others overlook. From an early age, you tried to understand how the universe worked. And of course, we see how his start of his career and how he wanted to help his ex-wife Jen, which of course led to repercussions and of course her cheating on him. And we kind of see how it led up to the events of Sword of the Atom, where Ray Palmer became the leader of a sort of small alien race, and of course ended up falling back in love with Jen, which of course ended up with in the events of Identity Crisis, and of course ends up becoming a Indigo Lantern. And of course we see how Black Lantern, Hawkman, Hawkgirl say, "Ray, don't turn away from us." And of course we see how Ray Palmer knows what they're saying isn't really love, and it's just them sort of toying with his emotions. And of course says, "And I'm sorry for that." "Sorry for what, Ray? There are no happy ever afters. Carter and I know that as much as you do." So of course we kind of see how Ray has to deal with the two Black Lantern, Hawkman and Hawkgirl, and of course tries to flee when Black Lantern Hawkman uses his mace and says, "Sometimes torture in ways your civilized, overreacted minds couldn't perform." So of course we see Indigo Lantern helping out Ray Palmer, and we see how Indigo 1 taps into a Red Lantern power and burns up Hawkman. So of course we see her trying to contact the other tribes from the other sectors and needs Ray Palmer to keep her alive while she channels in the other emotions. And we see how there's even Black Lantern versions of ancient Hawkman and Hawkgirl, as well with the Spectre in that. So we see Ray saying, "Green Lantern can take these things out permanently. Gotta listen for how. Get some green." And of course taps into the Orange Lanterns and makes constructs of Hawkman and Hawkgirl saying, "I want my friends back. You always had such a hard time making friends." And talks about how he always smelt small and got in the way. And of course we see Ray Palmer's ex-wife getting out of the Black Lantern ring and planning to stop Indigo 1. So of course we see how Ray tries to go in to stop Jen and ends up back in the past where he's at Sue Dibley's house, the wife of the Elongated Man, and he realizes to his shock and horror what's going to happen and sees how the phone's ringing, and we see how Ray Palmer says, "Sue, no! Don't answer the phone! Hello?" And of course, we see her getting murdered the same way again. And of course, we see Ray Palmer now furious as he's played this over and over again in his mind. And of course says, "No, this whole damn thing makes me sad, Jen." "You know what's sad? What happened to your rebound girl?" And of course brings back the princess and her alien race. And we see how Ray Palmer becomes overwhelmed by them, and of course mainly jokes around with how he was still in love with her and all that. But we see how Ray Palmer pulls through, and of course says, "You're right, I'll never forget you, but I won't be haunted by you anymore. Ray, darling. I'm sorry for everything your life was, Jen. But I'm moving on." And of course destroys Black Lantern Jen, and of course Indigo 1 contacts the other Lanterns from Oa, Korugar, Samaron, and other places, and says, Adam, you just saved the universe. And of course, we see how Ray Palmer asks her, finding a way to bring back Hawkman and Hawkgirl. And yeah, this is the story. So I think this story is pretty good. I think there's a bit of a message and a moral about moving on and accepting what was then and what was now. But you can kind of tell Ray Palmer still cares about Jen despite everything she did. And I think that was the point of Ray Palmer. He was always meant to soldier up and keep moving forward. So I think this issue deserves a thumbs up. Still good and still alright. So, Comic Reviewer here, signing out.